difference. Guess what, Miss Peaches? We're about to get rid of all that opening crap I've been using the last year or so. All the old 70s TV and the like is going bye-bye. We're putting it, did you ever see that scene from, I think it was before a baseball game in Chicago, some DJ, they put all the disco records out in the middle of the baseball field and they blew them all up. They were blowing up disco. That's what we're going to do to all my 70s show opens, the television stuff.
What genre are you?
What are we going to replace it with? I was either thinking of Yoko Ono when she yells in that album. Pull up some Yoko Ono yelling. That's the first thought. Pull that up. Notice Yoko Ono yelling / singing is all you have to do. There is a great video. I think it's John Lennon and geez and Pete. Who is it? John Lennon and like a blues guitarist or someone. Who is it? I'm trying to think who it is. It's someone popular and I just can't think who it is. Huh? No, it's someone older. Black blues guitarist. It's not B.B. King. It's trying to, I can't even think of the video. Anyway, Yoko Ono just starts yelling in it. And someone's smart enough to like pot down her mic. And I forgot who the guitarist is, just looks over like, has this look like, Yoko, what are you doing? Oh, yeah, God, it's Chuck Berry. Yeah, it's Chuck Berry and John Lennon. Exactly. Oh, it's Johnny B. Good. It's Johnny B. Good with Chuck Berry and John Lennon. And Chuck Berry just kind of looks over at Yoko Ono like, geez, lady, what's your problem? And then realizes, okay, this is my boy's wife. I got, hands off, but geez, is she wrecking the song. And then somebody at the control panel like you, Miss Peaches, potted down Yoko. Can we hear some of Yoko yelling? Pull up, that'd be good. The Johnny B. Good. But she's standing off to the side. Listen. You hear that duck sound? That's her yell. Not the Chuck Berry and John Lennon part. We're going to pull out just Yoko Ono. And thinking that could be the opening. Oh, yeah. No, seriously. It's crazy, Miss Peaches. They should make fun of it and add goat sounds and the like. Corey Johnson with, we're going to come up with something new and different. Got to change it up. Miss Peaches, sometimes the simplest things just smack you right in the face, One day I'm driving down the street and I'm like, I need a New Orleans name for my show. And within 10 seconds, I turn right from Claiborne's onto Broadway. And my window's down and I'm going down Broadway, not half into that block. And I look down at the neutral ground. I'm like, hey, the neutral ground. And it happened that quickly. Some things take a little longer, aren't as organic. You have to think about them a little bit. Anyway, we're going to come up with something good. And it's not Yoko Ono yelling. I will end the Yoko Ono yelling thing, Miss Peaches, with I may get one of those. I think I've got one already. The little tube speakers that JVC makes that? I think it's a JVC. They make the little different sizes. Anyway, I've got a couple of those in the house. And they make one with like a magnet for the golf cart. And when I go play golf, I want to get away from the music and all that. And honestly, music to me is like a personal thing. Like I get in a car with someone and they crank up music, like their music. It's like maybe I don't like that song or that artist or don't want to hear it right now, want to converse with you, or it's sort of thrown in your face in a little way. I just don't. When someone gets in my car, the if the radio's on, it's very low. You know, and if they want to hear, oh, I like that song, and we're in the car for hours, maybe. Anyway, I think music kind of sticking in people's face is a little obnoxious. I think the motorcycle riders with the music cranked, the three-wheel riders with the music, I don't want to hear their music. I don't care if it's stuff I like, you know? So in golf, I'm trying to get out Mother Nature. I'm a city boy. So it's about as Mother Nature as I get. I'm not going camping. I don't go hunting or fishing. So this is my outdoors. And I get Johnny Moore on next to me, who's got just the music cranking. And it's like, you know, Foreigner 4, 1975. Speaking of getting rid of the openings of my show, you know, it's that. So I'm listening to that garbage, and I got to hear that. And I'm a hole away. I'm like 100 yards away, and I'm hearing it. I got some friends that bring their music on the course. When they're in the cart, you can hear the music. You get away from the cart, you can't hear the music. It's for them. You know, they have a respect and, you know, a little decency. Anyway, to end the Yoko Ono story, I'm thinking of purchasing the speaker and getting just a loop of Yoko Ono yelling. And when some, you know, jerk has his Foreigner 4 Jukebox Heroes cranked up, I'm going to crank up Yoko Ono and make sure he hears it when the Foreigner 4's off, and maybe he'll come over to me and go, what the hell is that, dude? What's that noise? What's that cackling? I'm like, oh, that's Yoko Ono, man. That's John Lennon's wife. I mean, I don't know if it's good or not, but I know it's John Lennon's wife, and Lennon and the Beatles were incredible. So I'm just listening to this music like you, the Foreigner 4 thing. This album was produced. It's quote music. Dude, that's terrible. You got to turn that off. I hear you. Like you, the Foreigner 4 Jukebox Heroes. Kansas Point of No Return. Yeah, no return to music, please. Anyway, I get a little irritated on the golf course when these selfish people crank up their music, Miss Peaches. Am I just over the top, or I'm right? No, I'm 100% right, or that's obnoxious? She thinks it's obnoxious. I love Miss Peaches. I know I get a little worked up sometimes, but I don't on the golf course. I used to. I've grown up. Now I'm just like, well, look at that jerk. And then I might pick up my phone and call the pro shop, especially if I paid like $120 to play golf. Hey, how you doing? There's a group guy wearing a red sweater. He's on 7 right now. The music's real loud. Anyway, you can get somebody out here to help him lower it. Tell him at the turn. Uh-oh. Miss Peaches is looking at me like I'm a tattletale all of a sudden. She was on my side. Now I'm a tattletale. She said that was obnoxious behavior, and then now I'm being obnoxious by being a tattletale. It is a Thursday afternoon, 40 years ago today. Was it almost 160,000 Allied troops? 4 landing points around Normandy, France. The largest amphibious invasion in the history of the world. 150,000 troops storming the beaches in Normandy. No, and I laugh at the sheer number, the incredible size, the organization to pull this off. And I'm also shocked that the casualties, I say only 10,000, that's wounded and killed. Killed was about 4,100 Allied troops. Just the sheer brutality of that entrance point, especially at Omaha Beach, where the cliffs went straight up. The Germans had very good defenses in place. It was like a turkey shoot at some points. The big Higgins boat doors flop open, and your second row and the guys in front of you drop immediately, and maybe you're next. But the horrific death toll at certain points, and just the bravery of the troops that stormed the beach, that tens of thousands paratrooping behind enemy lines. The Germans, like the Japanese, a ridiculously formidable foe. Not some weak enemy, the exact opposite. An enemy that was dedicated and passionate and focused as much as we were on our, goal. Saving Private Ryan, the Steven Spielberg movie, that opening scene, which is like historic. That's about as close as I think we're going to be able to ever get to that. My brother was in that opening scene with Tom Hanks for a short second or two. He joins us next on the program to discuss. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
River Cities Total Maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
I'm getting the time zone screwed up, Miss Peaches. my brother will actually be joining us in about 15 minutes on the program, London time. He's lived in London, acting, doing voiceover work for his whole professional life. I guess he waited a table as an actor in London, waited tables maybe in London. I don't know if he did or not. Maybe we'll ask him. Anyway, he is on the tube, the subway right now in London, just finishing up a play on the West End, like the Broadway of London. I should know what it is. He's my brother, but I don't remember, so I'll ask him all that stuff. But he is, I don't know, we'll talk about this. I guess he's like a C or D actor. I don't know how you describe it. You know, if an A-list actor is like a Tom Hanks and the B-list actor is sort of like somebody you know that you like, you might even know them by name. They're in a lot of movies, character actor, maybe something like that. Maybe like Wendell Pierce is like John Goodman is like Tom Hanks is an A, John Goodman's an A minus, Wendell Pierce is like a B plus type thing, you know. What's her name? The old city council person, Jackie Clarkson, her daughter. You know, kind of Patricia Clarkson, sort of pseudo retired now, but she was kind of A minus ish. I'm not trying to be like particular with all these things, but you know, the Wendell Pierces of the world, they're known, people know their name, they have big roles. If they're not the star, they're the secondary type star. My brother's never the star or the secondary type star. He's like a C or D, you know, actor. It's like it's a line or two in you know, The Mummy. He's one of those three Americans, the original Mummy from like 30 years ago. He's one of the three Americans on the boat. He gets killed by the mob of mummies when he's shooting them, and then both guns click, 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 and then he just yells and the mummy eats him or whatever. He's in, what's the movie? There's a few of them. Wolverine, you know, this X-Men. He's in that one. You remember they're trying to like gather all the X-Men together. They're going around to the taxi driver is an X-Men. The stripper girl is an X-Men. She's got the wings. They go find the guy who I think he was in like a cell. And my brother is in a black and white suit, like a CIA guy, and opens the cell door and says some line like, he's the only person we know that enjoys solitary confinement, you know, rather than not, or something like that, you know. And he's 5 seconds. So he's that guy. Hey, he's the bartender. What are y'all drinking tonight? He's that guy. But he's been in a lot of movies, a lot of television, lots of plays. Some roles are bigger than others. And he was in Saving Private Ryan. He was in Captain Phillips with Tom Hanks also. That's what it was, Chief Warden, which, you know, that's the 47th name on the, you know, credits at the end. And I'm not dogging my brother. I'm just telling you the truth on what he is. I mean, he would tell you the same thing. I'm watching some stuff, Miss Peaches, like on Hitler. One was this China building a building before typhoon season, like an 80-story building, modular. They built it in 6 months. It was like an hour-long show. I watched that. I watched this Hitler thing for 30 minutes. Afterwards, the, you know, credits come up, narration. It's my brother. I'm like, what? So I rewind. I'm like, God, it is him. But just, it was, you know, he's professional. The content is very well done. It's like Nat Geo and History Channel. So I was oblivious to that it was his voice until I rewound and went, oh yeah, it is him. But it's so well scripted and it's enthralling, and you just, you know, anyway, so he does a lot of that stuff. Sometimes you hear his voice on this very program. You'll probably recognize that. And his wife is an actor with a British accent. You hear her voice on this very program sometimes because they're professional voice people, not just, hey, let me grab you off the street. You got an Aussie accent, we need it. You got a kind of a Spanish American accent, we need it. Come off the street. We know you can't do it, but come on. No, they're professionals. So I was like, why not use them? It's like the Humane Society commercial for TV. Well, why not use Blue Boy and Sparky and Tolly and Puffy, my animals? Why use other animals? Got to put cats and dogs up there anyway. Might as well get mine up there. We're not hiring actor animals from Hollywood. 80 years ago today, D-Day. No, and there's no better way for us to get a slight taste of what that had to be like. That Saving Private Ryan first 20 minutes is cinematography history. It's in every film class everywhere in the world. It's like the Potemkin step sequence. It's part of film history. It is insanely intense. I mean, I remember watching in the theater and it was almost like, could you put up intermission and we can leave for a second, go outside, catch our breath, come back in, and you restart the movie. I mean, it was unbelievable. It's like some exercise routine that, wait. This first 20 minutes, is the whole movie going to be this intense? Because I can't keep up. No, it was incredible. There's a scene where they hit the beach and Tom Hanks is with the men throughout the whole movie. And on the left side of the screen is a radio guy. And Tom Hanks leans over and pulls the radio guy towards him and just barks some orders at him. And the radio guy's my brother. He doesn't say anything, doesn't have a line. Rolls back over and starts doing what Tom Hanks asks. And about 30 seconds later, Tom Hanks rolls him over again and barks out some more orders and rolls him back over. My brother starts firing in the, order. You can't hear any of it, so no lines you can hear. Tom Hanks rolls him over a third time to give him more info, and his face is blown off. So he was done. But what I want to get out of my brother is Tom Hanks, Spielberg, that beach in Normandy. Where were they shooting it? How long did they shoot these scenes for? I heard it was days and days and days. They didn't knock that out in 1 or 2 days. It may have been a few weeks, just that opening scene, that kind of stuff. What Spielberg, accuracy and being on point and not embellishing or exaggerating, but being historically correct. I mean, hardcore about it. This is Steven Spielberg, one of the best in the history of cinematography. So just his thinking and what they were, the mindset was, consultants on the set. We see these veterans now, 98, 100, 102, 103, because they were 18, 19, 20, 21. The guy leading the men, 22 years old. I mean, I can't even wrap my brain around that. I'm at LSU at 3 for 1 at 22 years old. This guy's leading a platoon of soldiers into a hornet's nest of some seasoned German veteran fighters that know what they're doing. An insanely formidable foe. Nothing easy, the opposite. 22 years old. Seeing what back then when Saving Private Ryan, what's Saving Private Ryan circa around 90? You want to Google that, Miss Peaches? Maybe circa 1990? Oh, it's that old. I mean, that new, 98. So, I say that new. That's 25 years, 26 years ago. So these veterans were 70-something years old then. And you're hearing them today at 98 and 100 and 103, and it's just heartwarming. I love the response they got in France by the people of France. Standing ovation. People younger than me crying and hugging these veterans, saving our lives. It's pretty amazing. I mean, that Normandy invasion, the United States, America, our allies, saved the world. And then New Orleans' part, the Higgins boat. Eisenhower's quote is, I'm butchering, but it's like Andrew Higgins saved the world, won the war. Pretty amazing. No, major contributor, New Orleans East, Michoud. Anyway, 80 years ago today, over 150,000 Allied troops storming the beaches at Normandy, paratrooping behind enemy lines, and going up against a hardened foe. The NOLA Troop N, the state police troop here in New Orleans, making some real progress. Great story today in the Times-Picayune, NOLA.com about it. Lots of folks getting pulled over for tinted windows that are too dark. It's about time. I've been talking about you get pulled over for tinted windows that are too dark, you get ticketed, and it's like $250, $350, $400. Strike two, it's a four-figure ticket, $1,000, $1,250, $1,500. Strike three, your car gets seized. The city owns it now. Just strict policy on enforcing the tint law where everyone abuses it. Just about everyone seems to abuse it. I think that, and I'm going to get with Carlton Dufresne show on this. I don't know if law enforcement has an exception on tint because I think the Causeway cops tint's a little dark. No, the state trooper's making headway. Corey Johnson with you. Don't move.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarque Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer. Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson with you. Instead of yeah, you right from now on, Miss Peaches, I'm saying fever dream. Yeah, that's what the youngsters 30 under say. I was at the Baskin Robbins and these two girls with the Uggs boots on, but with shorts because it wasn't that cold. But they had on the Uggs snow boots, both of them. And like both had like cut off jeans and both had on kind of like the halter top. Like these were pals that were like 17 or something. You know what I mean? And they dress the same like the guys do. I see the kids with the high top shoes and the other guys got it. They both have the same haircut, caps on exactly the same way, or lid popped up. They're like twin guys, and I can tell they're just buddies. So anyway, I guess it was chaotic in the Baskin Robbins. And one of the girls looked at the girl and was like, am I having a fever dream here or what? And I couldn't help. I didn't either. I couldn't help myself. So I'm like, grandpa, hey, excuse me, guys. What did you just say? No, and they were like, what? And I saw when you said it was a fever dream, I was like, what's that? And they're just like, they couldn't even describe it. But then they said, I started telling them what it was. Like a quagmire, things are kind of crazy here. They're like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, all right. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. For over 55 years, Helm Paint and Decorating in New Orleans, 7 locations, Benjamin Moore Paint, free 2-hour delivery anywhere in the metro, steering you in the right direction for over 5 decades. Now, Helm Paint and Decorating is in Baton Rouge, in the Crescent City in New Orleans for over 55 years. Now on Highland Road, Perkins Road, Jones Creek Road, Choctaw, 4 Metro Baton Rouge locations. Benjamin Moore Paint, free 2-hour delivery. West Baton Rouge, like Bruley, Port Allen, East Baton Rouge, Prairieville, even as far as Gonzales. Helm Paint and Decorating, 7 Metro New Orleans locations, East Bank, West Bank, North Shore, and now 4 Baton Rouge locations. Paint like a pro, capital city. Helm Paint and Decorating. 80 years ago today, D-Day, Normandy, over 150,000 Allied troops storming the beaches, tens of thousands of paratroopers behind enemy lines. I think the closest that we can come to that, I mean, the black and white footage, like the, 9mm handheld black and white of the guys storming the beach and just dropping. We've seen that, and that's intense, and that's just hard to watch. But it's limited. It's not a lot of that. It's unedited. It's just little snippets. Steven Spielberg, one of the greatest directors in the history of cinema, Saving Private Ryan with Tom Hanks starring. This guy's trying to pull off what would be the most realistic movie, TV, film, record, shooting a movie, trying to make it as most realistic of what D-Day Normandy was about. And the first 20 minutes of Saving Private Ryan is that and more. As intense as it gets. It's classroom stuff for film school, like Potepkin step sequence, 20 minutes of Saving Private Ryan. My brother was in that scene for a little while, for about a minute, with Tom Hanks, right next to Tom Hanks, right up on the beach in the beginning. He joins us live from London, my brother, John Johnson. What up, bro?
How you doing? How's everything going?
Good. How's everything? Right? How's everything in London?
It's nippy. You know, I know it's 95 degrees and, 100 is the heat index in New Orleans, but it ain't nowhere close to that here.
Wow.
We rent the sun for a couple of weeks every year, and we get it in July.
Yeah.
So, we'll have it in a month or so. But, yeah.
What, did you just finish up a play that year for the day or the night?
I'm just doing a play. I'm doing a play right now on the West End. It's a new Jez Butterworth play called The Hills of California. And Sam Mendes directed it, who's another great director. Directed 1917, which is also about World War I. But Steven Spielberg, I don't think has been surpassed as far as trying to get not only the accuracy and the realism of it, but there's an element of movies that you go, you want to watch it and believe it's real, and the problem is sometimes you don't believe it's real. And I think what Steven did with Private Ryan was, not only did he make it as realistic as he could, because he had Irish Army regulars who were, filling out the beach on D-Day. I remember one guy hit an air trap, which was designed, you land on them and they push you up in the air like a bomb has hit you. He hit it and didn't mean to, broke his leg. And I just remember the ambulance driving up onto the beach and somebody going, okay, that's lunch, and it's like, okay, this guy's leg is in pieces, but that's the drill. I mean, it's like they didn't do it to him on purpose. And I'm sure, he was sort of aware that stuff, could happen, and things get a little, not out of control, but, you have to be very, very precise when you're doing something that big. But the other thing he did was he took certain license with things. A lot of people had problems with the fact that there were bullets going into the water that were killing people. And they said a bullet hits the water and it can't keep up its speed. It can't kill anybody. And you go, maybe not. But, there were guys who never made it out of the water and they must have died in some way. And as cinematically, it was a beautiful, harrowing sequence to see those bullets, like finding guys who were trying not to drown. They were being weighed down by their packs and their wet clothes. They hit the water. They had no idea what they were doing. And then they just get shot. And it's like they're gone. And that sort of summed up what the experience must have been like for a lot of people, which is just, I'm not even here and I'm finished, which is, it's what makes it a great movie. It's what makes D-Day as important a day in our history as it is.
My brother, John Johnson's with us on the program. He was in the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan with Tom Hanks and the whole crew out there. Yeah, I'm watching Godfather the other day, and I don't know, it was like an old version, and the intermission popped up, intermission. And almost for Saving Private Ryan, after the beach scene, you need intermission. I remember being in the theater. Like, I don't watch that whole scene today because it's too damn intense. It's just, it's hard. It's brutal. It's hard to watch. And when I watched it in the theater, I was worn out. I was like, this movie can't continue at this pace.
Right. I was shooting The Mummy when Private Ryan came out. And I saw a screening. The producer of The Mummy got a screener for Private Ryan and showed it for a handful of people. And I was sitting next to a guy who had a nice bit in The Mummy, who was South African, who served in the army in South Africa. He was actually discharged honorably because he was blown up by a mine. He was in warfare. He was in proper, guns shooting at him, bombs going off. He's a big guy, and nothing scares him. He watched that entire sequence with his head in his hands. He couldn't watch it. And he's just like, we got to go, and he stepped outside because it was just too much for him. I think for people who've been there, it's a testament to how accurate and what an artist he is, that he can evoke that. You know, it's like people take really beautiful pictures, but when you see someone paint a face or carve a sculpture where you can see emotion on the statue's face, or register, you know, when you recognize something in a painting's eyes, you go, that man is an artist. Well, that's what Steven Spielberg does with film. It's not enough just to film something and go, well, must have been what it was like. He's making people who were there go, oh my God, that's exactly what it was like, you know? And everybody's memory is selective. You remember certain things and other things get, you know, thrown away. But the fact that he hits so many people on beyond a gut level with that opening sequence is really a testament to his, you know, artistry.
The only thing, and I don't think there's any way around this, there's nothing Spielberg could have done. You're going to make these actors look as young as they can look. You want pros, experience that can do it. It's hard to, you know, even Band of Brothers, which you were in that, episodes 9 and 10. The only thing, and I'm not trying to be critical, it was 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22-year-olds, 23-year-olds. There were some older fighters, but it was like 22-year-old men leading. You know, the Tom Hanks character was 22. It's hard to put that on film, I think. I'm not trying to be critical, but I just want to emphasize that these were a bunch of kids that did all this fighting. It's insane.
Right. But you got to understand, these were kids who, you know, like our parents, were born in or at the beginning of the Depression. And, you know, for my mom, I mean, she was 5 years old when it finally got as bad as it was going to get. And by the time the war started, she would have been coming up on 10. There were people who literally had not known what it was to be not hungry, had not known what it was to have a bed. And so when the war came along and they said, we need people to sign up, you had guys who were getting, I mean, they would have been thrown out of the Army today. They would have said, physically, you're not up to it.
Of course.
These guys were going, excuse me, 3 meals and a bed? I'm in. What do I have to do?
And the folks that... And the folks that weren't like that were like, I've got to do it, where today there just would be excuses and nonsense and lies and BS and whatever.
Today, it's like, I mean, I'm not denigrating anyone who's in the Army, because it's something I never did. It's something I never was required to do. But, you know, the bulk of the people who are in the Army are
the Lamar
credit to the country, you know?
Yeah. No, you're right. Finish your thought. We're going to take a break in a second.
What was that?
That was a mistake that the commercial started, but we stopped it.
But you're trying to tell me to shut up.
No, I want you to finish your thought, and then we'll take the break.
No, I think, you know, I have the utmost of respect for people who join the Army. Those guys had no idea what they were doing or what they were joining, in the sense that they went, I can either keep doing what I'm doing and I'll be dead in a few months, or I can join the Army and, you know, I'll probably have a job and I'm going to eat. And for the first time in my life, I'm going to have a place to be. I'm going to have meals every day. It's going to be great. You know, I mean, it wasn't great, but that's why they call them the greatest generation, because, you know, America at the beginning of World War II, in 1938, had like the 19th biggest army in the world. We were nowhere militarily. By the end of World War II, we, you know, not to be too flowery with my language, but we bestrode the world like a colossus. We were it, you know? We were the preeminent superpower. In 6-8 years, we went from 19th to it, you know? And that's remarkable. That's those guys fighting that war who built that, you know, the greatest generation.
All right. Let me knock out this
and, you know,
break.
There's a handful of them left.
Yep. Let me knock out this break real quick. John Johnson, my brother, is joining us on the program. He was in the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan, along with Tom Hanks, the Steven Spielberg classic that, I don't know, I guess as close as we'll ever get to knowing the slightest bit of what those guys were feeling 80 years ago today. We're coming right back.
Backs, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa, and now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville, the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spots. NolaAC.com, your cool spots.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Thursday. My brother, who's an older brother, I got 2 of them. They used to torture me when I was younger, but I came through stronger and better, by golly. He tortures me even in adult life. He goes to get his, acting card, whatever, acting guild card. John Johnson's taken, John Williams taken, John W. Johnson's taken. Like, I don't know. I think he just throws his hands in the air. Corey? Oh, yeah, that's available. So Corey. That's sort of how the story went down, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I said, I changed my my last name when I was in New York for a little while. And they call you, Mr. So-and-so, it's your call. You're on, and so you're supposed to go. I'm sitting in my dressing room and I hear him say, Mr. Zabinski. And I'm going, boy, this is Zabinski guy. I said, holy like, hey, that's me, whatever the name I picked was. So I said, it's got to be a first name. So when they say Mr. Johnson, at least I'm going to respond.
Right.
And I was used to hearing Corey, I turn around and say, is he here? Oh, they're talking to me. Oh, okay, good. It was something that was easy on the ear and, I recognized it. So.
Yep.
It was either that or Bjorn, and that was too ethnic. So
no.
I went with Corey.
We're 5 of us, and you said who is the greatest sibling and family member? Who's number 1?
Thierry and Siobhan were out.
And you went with Corey. You went with the best. That was a smart call on your part.
Yeah, it hasn't really inhibited me. So
No, I'm waiting for you to actually make some money so I can somehow get some lawsuit. He took my name, and I'm entitled to 8% of the income I want it now.
Yeah.
And not in Bitcoin.
Yeah, that'll happen. 8% of nothing is nothing.
Yep. Hey, how long did it take? What that opening scene's about 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
How long did it take to shoot that opening scene?
Well, we were there. We were supposed to be there for 2 weeks. And
where's there? Where's there?
In Ireland. We were in Ireland on the South Coast. I think we flew into, God, I can't remember. I think we flew into Dublin and then we drove somewhere to the South Coast. And, we walked, they took us over, not took us, but our hotel was just off the where the set was. And you're looking and there's this huge, enormous beach with these, they had these big triple kind of planks 10 feet high that were supposed to stop tanks and landing craft from coming on the beach. They were made of steel, and they're lining the beach. And I was like, what I was saying earlier about a film is realistic until it's not. I'm there looking at about 5, 6 o'clock, and I'm standing there watching them shoot a sequence. And they go, okay, that's a wrap for the day. And a guy walks over to one of those huge steel things, lifts it up and walks away. It's made of plywood. No one was going to touch it, but it looked amazing. It looked like the real thing,
right.
As long as no one tried to move it because, you could knock it over with a feather.
Right.
But,
why would you make it out of steel? It would take a crane to move it around every day. You got 100 of them.
Move them.
No, exactly.
Right. You got 100 of them. He had, at one point, there were 4 or 5 cameras operating at the same. You're talking about a landing that involved, even in Private Ryan, involved 1,000 people. There was armies, there were actors, there were supporting actors, there was crew, there was cameramen. And he would shoot with 3 or 4 cameras at the same time, so he didn't miss anything. One camera would drop out, another camera would pick up. You'd have wide cameras shooting up to a point, and then the close-up cameras would come in. He would have, sort of wides and wider, but then he'd have close-ups in another shot. So
how often?
By the time he got...
No, go ahead.
No, by the time he got to me, I was there. We flew in on a Saturday. We were on set on Monday, had a costume fitting, met some people. We were on set on Tuesday. They sent us home. We were on set on Wednesday. They said, we're going to shoot you on Thursday. We went on set on Thursday. They said, go home. We'll shoot you tomorrow. I went on Friday. I did my thing in the morning, shot my sequence. Bing, 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 done. I'm finished. My head gets blown off, whatever. And then he has us do some ADR, some dialogue where we're saying, dog 1 is not open. Repeat, dog 1 is not open. Counterman such and such, blah, 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 blah. This is big, just yelling in chaos and stuff. And so I'm saying these lines, he's getting people to say, and I've got my arm around my dummy, which has its face literally melted off. It's me, but no face.
Right.
And I've got my arm around my dummy, and they're having me say my lines. I say my lines, and he goes, hey, this guy's pretty good. Can we get him in something else? And I look at my dummy, and I look back at him, and he just goes, I guess not. Yeah. I was like, no, I think I'm done for the day.
Wow. Yeah, I've sent that video to some friends. When my older brother is not treating me right, this is what happens to him. And then I show you your face blown.
Well, yeah. It was, the thing about it is you go, again, it looks amazing, but not to spoil anything, but it was like, Tom Hanks says a line to me. I turn away. Tom turns back. He says something to someone else. He grabs me again. I come in. He says something else to me. I turn away. He goes back. He says something to someone else. I turn back. He turns back to say something to me, and I slide through the frame with blood spurting out of my face.
Yeah.
Okay. So the second time, I'm listening to Tom. I go, yeah. I go lean over. A guy leans over, pulls me out of the foxhole. They slide my guy in, and there's like 2 guys standing there with, colostomy bags full of blood, just pumping the blood with their arms, squirting out the guy and everything. I was like, wow, okay, this is great. There are times when you go, we'll do this in post. We'll do some special effects.
Did Hanks know they swapped out the dummy?
Just go, give me a bottle of ketchup and a squeegee and I'll do it,
Did Hanks know the dummy was swapped out?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know if they wanted like a spontaneous response from him or something like that.
No. You don't leave any. That's what, for someone like, there are times when you do that, but with someone like Tom,
you don't need
to. Can make it spontaneous. We get something spontaneous, but he'll give us what we need.
Yep.
That's why he's Tom Hanks.
Hey, Blue Boy's about to start barking in a second. In 10 seconds, how many veterans were on that set?
I know there were a few in our group, but there were a few. There were.
It was what?
At least 100.
Wow.
There were advisors. There were people who were in the film. There were Irish Army regulars. It was insane.
Yep. There's Blue Boy telling me to be quiet. John, thank you.
No problem, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bro. See you later. There goes my brother in London. That's Blue Boy saying stick around, 5 o'clock.
Corey Johnson
there's
on
my
TV on
voice
Cox
again.
Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
Come and knock on our door.
Come and knock on our door.
We've been waiting for you.
For some reason, I got this from management. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on Thursday will be canceled, and 2 reruns of Three's Company will play in its place. Obviously, we're ignoring the suits upstairs, management, the bosses. Drew Brees has given the introduction. You are on the Neutral Ground. Yeah, you right. 5 o'clock power hour coming your way. Brought to you by Yummy Trey Yen in Mandeville. Boy, is Trey Yen good. Worth driving across the causeway to not get some Chinese food, to experience Chinese cuisine. And boy, the Wong brothers, 5 gourmet chefs, they love our local seafood bounty. I'm not saying this in a way to get you to go to Trey Yen. I'm saying this in a legitimate fact-based way, in my opinion. One of the best seafood restaurants in the Crescent City, Trey Yen. Soft shell crabs, local fresh speckled trout, flounder, oysters, shrimp, crawfish. So good. Trey Yen in Mandeville, right at the foot of the causeway. 25 minutes from Lakeside Mall. You're with a date, you're with your wife, your husband, another couple, some friends in the car. Before you know it, it's 25 minutes from Lakeside Shopping Center to the parking lot at Trey Yen, because there's no driving on the North Shore. You cross that causeway immediately on your left. Trey Yen in Mandeville. You North Shore folks, you know where it's at. The foot of the causeway in Mandeville, Trey Yen. 5 o'clock power hour brought to you by Trey Yen. It's not Chinese food, it's Chinese cuisine. So good. Father's Day is a week from this Sunday. Can you believe that? Tighten up, Dad. Father's Day a week from this Sunday. The ladies know that their man likes the Woodhouse Day Spa. I'm not going for a pedicure or a manicure. That's not my thing. Some men get pedicures and manicures all the time. You can see the man, Miss Peaches, with the pedicure. With the manicure. No, I mean, I guess if he's got sandals on, you can see the pedicure. But, it's usually the guy, and he's probably got a nice suit on and nice tie. He's probably doing well and likes getting his nails taken care of. I'm not going to say I'm like a dude's dude. I'm not down at the hunting camp. I'm not that far of a dude's dude, but I'm not the pedicure guy. But so you think I'm out at the Woodhouse Day Spa? Boy, you're mistaken. I'll take a 90-minute deep tissue massage at the Woodhouse every other day if I could. I'm telling you. I'm not kidding you. So incredible. You walk in there feeling like you're feeling when you walk in. You walk out feeling like you could do anything. Like take on the world. Go take a nap. You're like reset. Seriously. It's incredible. It is incredible. And your body is begging for it. Like we're fine right now. Let me give a little squeeze on your shoulder. You're like, ow, that hurts. Yeah. A lot of lactic acid that needs to be spread out, pushed out, get out of your system. That's why they're like, hydrate. No, it's as much as it feels good, it's good for you. It's good for you. So yeah, guys, Father's Day, 1 week from this Sunday. Ladies, take care of your guy. Get him a Woodhouse Day Spa massage. And if your guy, you know him, he'd like the pedicure, manicure, tighten him up. I would do a facial, I think. What's a facial, Miss Peaches? What do they do with a facial?
It's basically like a
It's a face massage and a cleansing and that kind of stuff. What I got, like cucumber slices on my eyes. You're gonna stick kale in my collar, my shirt, kale or something. Lotions and creams. All right, I gotcha. I might do the facial. A facial massage has to be fantastic. I mean, it's amazing, as Peaches says. Good stuff. All right, ladies, tighten up your man. Father's Day a week from this Sunday. Boom, just like that. Get him a day of relaxation at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Get him a 90-minute deep tissue massage. 5 Woodhouse Day Spa locations, 2 on the South Shore, 2 on the North Shore, by the Mall of Louisiana in Baton Rouge. You can check them out online, woodhousespas.com, woodhousespas.com. If you missed the last hour, you missed my brother. My brother, John Johnson, lives in London, has for the majority of his life, pretty much his entire adult life since he was about 25. He's now about 60-something, 35, close to 40 years in London. He is a professional actor and voiceover person. Sometimes you might be watching History Channel, Nat Geo. It could be something on World War II, Hitler. I was watching something about in China before typhoon season. They wanted to put up an 80-story modular building in 6 months, which they did. And the hour-long episode was on that. And that wasn't on Nat Geo or History Channel, another cable channel. And I'm watching it, and it's really interesting. And it ends, and the credits come up, and my brother's name narrated by him. I'm like, what? So I rewind. I'm like, oh, that is my brother. I didn't even notice. I was so enthralled by the content and good video and information and everything. I didn't even realize it. So he does that kind of stuff. I'll be watching a movie. Boom, he just pops up. Some little minor role. It could be Saving Private Ryan. It could be The Mummy. Could be the last couple episodes of Band of Brothers. It might be Born Ultimatum. He was in those 2 movies as the kind of that second CIA guy with some speaking lines in there. So anyway, he just pops up in different movies, different TV shows and stuff. He's like a C actor, I would say. You know, if Tom Hanks is an A actor, if, John Goodman's like AA minus or something, Wendell Pierce is like a B plus. These are all known actors. People know them. They're either the star or like a Wendell Pierce, like the secondary type guy, but huge and significant role and in a series for years and years and known. My brother's not known like that. He's like, you remember the movie The Bartender? Hey, what are y'all drinking tonight? Lower that music. That was him. It's stuff like that. But that's what he does. And he was in the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan with Tom Hanks. He was the radio guy that got his face blown off, that Tom Hanks rolled over and pulled him near him and shouted out some orders. And then Tom Hanks rolled back over and my brother's out the scene. And then Tom Hanks rolls back over and pulls my brother towards him and yells some more orders. And then my brother's out the scene. And the third time he does it, my brother's face is blown off. That was it. But I got him on the program because he was down there for a few weeks. It took more than 2 weeks to film that 20-minute intro, the storming of the beach in Normandy in Saving Private Ryan. That 20-minute scene took a few weeks to film. Just talking to him about Spielberg, what they were doing. Tom Hanks, the thinking, the veterans that were there participating in the movie, advisors to the movie. On and on. Because Saving Private Ryan in that first 20 minutes, that storming the beach at Normandy, that's about as close as you and me are going to get to having a 1% feeling of what those folks were feeling on that beach. That scene wore me out at the movie theater. I remember just enthralled, just couldn't believe it, just glued to my seat. And when things sort of calmed down a little bit, and the whole theater's like, it's almost like, can this movie stay at this intensity level like this for 2 hours? Because I can't watch a movie like this for 2. It's too intense. I told my brother in the last hour, I'll watch a little bit of that opening scene again of Saving Private Ryan, and then I change the channel. I don't know if I've watched the beginning all the way through, and I will one day because it's such high quality work, but it's hard to watch. It's painful. I mean, Spielberg has a lot of movies. Some high quality movies are tough to watch. I mean, I don't watch like Schindler's List for very long. And I mean, it is so well done. And I'll watch it again, but boy, it's hard to watch. Painful. Braveheart is hard to watch. You know, the second half of Braveheart is a killer to watch. Dances with Wolves. These are hard. These are as high quality cinematography, great acting, great story, so well done, almost movie making at a perfect level, but so brutally painful and truthful and well done and accurate that it's hard to watch as a human being. Unless you have no emotions or feelings, then you can watch it all day long. But that opening 20 minutes in Saving Private Ryan is about as intense as anything I've ever watched in movie television. I mean, it's just everybody pretty
Custom window
much
treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at Rouse's.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. when you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Corey Johnson back at you. Thanks so much for joining us on the program. Rouse's Markets phone lines 766 9480 766 9480. I know him as Mr. Patagna on Napoleon Avenue with the church pews on the front porch. Got the front door and left side, a big old church pew, right side on a big old church pew. When you got 11 kids, Italian Catholic family, when you got 11 kids, you need the church pews on the front porch. I was the 5th kid in my family. The Patagna kid that's my age was the 11th. Dodie, we're about the same age. My sister, contemporary in the Patagna family's Herky, and my older brothers, they all have a contemporary. John Cooper Patagna Sr., I believe, was Mr. Patagna's full name. Passed away a few years ago. He was a World War II veteran, and in one of the most precarious spots you could be, Miss Peaches, the waist gunner on a B-17. So this big B-17 bomber's flying, and he's in this little, glass machine gun little bubble fighting off planes that are coming to attack and knock down that big bomber, this big, easy target. He's the one protecting it. 35 missions over Europe, Mr. Patagna. 35 missions over Europe. No, I mean, every single time that plane takes off, you don't know if that plane's coming back. But John Cooper Patagna Sr., if you knew Mr. Patagna, Mrs. Patagna, that family with the 11 kids and just tight nuclear family, everybody's on the same page. There's no wild card or black sheep or outlier. It's all the same tight. Everybody's doing the right thing. Everybody's successful. There's just kind of a moral ethic, integrity standard that this man had. And he was just a quiet, humble gentleman and was a sweet, sweet guy and just rare generation, just that generation, the greatest generation that saved our lives. 35 missions in the back of a bomber. Are you kidding me? And then just like nothing happened, like wasn't doing anything in my early 20s. I'm at 3 for 1 at, Fred's Bar in Baton Rouge, and Mr. Patagna's in 35 missions over Europe as a waist gunner on a B-17. No, that's something that I'm lucky. I'm fortunate. Serious. I mean, we're all lucky and fortunate. But what I'm getting at is all older brothers and sisters. I'm a Gen X guy. I'm, that generation. All my older brothers and sisters, the sister next to me, she's kind of half Gen X, baby boomer. But my oldest sister, oldest brother, my brother just came on. He's a baby boomer. He's not Gen X, who you just heard last hour. But I had that old school New Orleans upbringing and new school New Orleans upbringing, the best of both worlds. I mean, this is silly. It's had black and white TV and color. That's a good way just to sort of give you a kind of an idea of what I mean. You know, got the best of both worlds. Rotary dial push button phone. So I learned the old school, like the Mr. Patagna way. And you have to honor those people and respect those people. And they set it up for us, and you have to know that. You can't disrespect them or act like, oh, so what? You people that don't respect tradition and that kind of thing, I don't know. I think you're missing out. So, no, I'm lucky that I was taught that. Yet, I'm into 2024 and the future and go. Let's do it. But I try to be, I know some of y'all are going to laugh and hit the button on the TV. I try to be humble. I try to remember people like Mr. Patagna and act like that and remember that and honor that. Anyway, everybody has a person they can relate to that's, military or war hero. There's just not many of these left. Let's see, it's 2024. Mr. Patagna passed away. I mean, it's ridiculous. I would say like 3 years ago, but it's probably 5 or 6. I want to say it was the late teens. It was pre-corona. I want to say it was like 2018. So there's not many Mr. Patagnas left. That the greatest generation, these World War II veterans, having my brother on talking about Saving Private Ryan, those guys were like in their 70s. They were in their 70s when they were on that set and consulting and participating in the movie. They were in their 70s. They were really active and still going. Some of them were younger and more active than others. Some of them were old in their 70s. Some of them were just a few years, months away from maybe passing away. Now, you look at the Normandy, France, you watch it tonight. They'll be showing a lot of it. These guys are 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103. It's funneling down. There are not many of them left. So glad that they're honoring them. The standing ovation in France with young people. It made me happy. Like, these young people get it. And then as an American, you're like, man, we saved the world, literally. 150,000 Allied troops storming the beaches in France to defeat the Nazis. It's amazing. And then, hey, okay, we defeat the Nazis. Now we get to go defeat the Japanese in the Pacific, and we did that. And these are formidable opponents. The Japanese and the German military, they were ruthless. They were fighting till the end. It was as tough an opponent as you could possibly fight. And we took care of business. Pretty amazing. Anyway, 80 years ago today, D-Day. Do yourself a favor tonight. Just kind of relax, put on the TV. Don't worry about liberal or conservative, politics tonight. But do a little last channel surfing and check out all the different news outlets. And when they get into like Biden or Trump, change the channel and go find one. It could be Fox, CNN, Newsmax, MSNBC, any of these news outlets. And just flip around and keep landing on the ones that are talking about D-Day and showing veterans and their interviews and what they're saying. Stay on that stuff. You can give Biden and Trump a break for one night. You're not going to miss anything. Trust me. You're not going to miss anything. The two old guys running for president. The two guys that most folks are starting to believe, probably neither one really qualified for this gig, even though you like one or the other. Yeah, watch some D-Day stuff. 80 years ago today, America and the Allies saving the world. It started. New Orleans, Troop N making some incredible progress. It's so unbelievable on social media. There is a major dysfunction with the hyper left, these loony left, woke folks getting on social media. It's like, Troop N making arrests, busting people like tinted glass on windows or no license plate, using that to pull people over and then finding guns and drugs. And the hyper liberal woke folks are freaking out like, oh, unwarranted stops, searching when you shouldn't be searching, just all this stuff like trying to defend the criminal. It's like the windows are tinted too dark. That's against the law. They don't have a license plate. That's against the law. And then when they have guns and drugs, you're bummed that they got busted. I don't understand the loony left woke hyper liberals. It's insane. More worried about the criminal than us, the citizens, the law abiding, tax paying citizens. No, the state troopers aren't over aggressive. They're just doing their job. But some of the posts are like mentioning Ronald Green and stuff like that, like when the police go too far. There's examples of that everywhere. There's a doctor that operated on the wrong knee. The left knee was supposed to have the ACL surgery. They did the right knee. I mean, people make mistakes and people do it maliciously, vindictively. There's some people that shouldn't be police. Slip through the cracks, become police, and they're not built for it. Wrong person to have a badge. No, bad things happen. But you're going to just use that as like, hey, that happened. Ronald Green, no state troopers at all in New Orleans. They're making headway. We're already seeing a great reduction in violent crime in New Orleans with the NOPD and with Ann Kirkpatrick and this rededication, this refocus, the New Orleans Coalition, zero tolerance for this crap. DA Jason Williams, smart, common sense. I ran on this platform, but now that I'm DA, that platform doesn't work. That liberal woke stuff doesn't work. I have to do what's right. I got to do what's right. And then these judges, the pressure on them and the magistrates, this low bail and bond, come on. These are violent criminals. So no, we're starting to see a great reduction in crime. The criminals are starting to think twice. I might get busted for minor stuff like, drifting cars to bigger stuff, carjacking cars or worse. No, and now you have, with the improvement, we're going in the right direction and it's noticeable. Then you bring in Troop N and you jack it up to an entirely different level. And they're not even fully manned yet. It's like 10 or 12 cops. It's like a dozen. There'll be 50 eventually, 50. And these are veteran cops, so they know what's going on. I was wrong when I said have Troop N just be in the French Quarter. They're out-of-town troopers. They'll be dealing with out-of-town tourists. It's a good fit. They can worry about the quarter, and then it frees up the NOPD for other areas. But with the consent decree, the NOPD is limited. The state troopers aren't. And it's not about stop and frisk or harassing people or violating people's civil rights. It's not about that at all. It's about pulling over cars that don't have a license plate, where the NOPD don't have the time, the manpower, the people out there seeing it, or whatever. They're going to a bigger call, something more important than pulling over a motorist for a no driver's, no license plate, no brake tag, the tin on the car too dark. State troopers can do it. Maybe it's just a ticket. Maybe it's just a warning. I'm certain when you see the story today in the Times-Picayune with these troopers getting 2 or 3 arrests, guns, drugs, other stuff in the car, how many dozens of folks got pulled over that got a ticket or were let go, said, okay, just get the tint changed or, get the license plate or fix the brake light, whatever. That's not talked about. But boy, these hyper-woke liberals all freaked out about the state troopers going overboard. Crime is going down in New Orleans. Violent crime is going down. It is an incredible feeling as a New Orleanian seeing this right in front of our eyes. And then hearing, I'm not in agreement with the mayor too much at all or the governor. I love the mayor's summer of Super Bowl comment back on Tuesday. And I love the governor saying by February Super Bowl, New Orleans will be the safest city in America. That's a bold statement. And even if we aren't literally the safest, that's what he wants to do. That's the goal. That's the direction. I love it. That's what we should be shooting for in New Orleans. The goals have to be high. And then if you fall short, you still accomplished a whole lot. So no, the Troop N in New Orleans making headway, pulling over motorists. I mean, New Orleans is full of folks with, you heard the Kenner story, the fake license plates, folks with no brake tag, folks with no license plate, no tail lights, tinted glass that's too dark. No, there's so many vehicles you can pull over justifiably in New Orleans. And then if so be it, you find drugs, firearms, and these are like stolen, illegal. These are some of these guys had like arrest warrants. It's and folks are going to complain about it. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. I'm trying to think of the judge. She's an active judge right now. Is it? Damn. She's got like a different kind of name. Oh boy. Anyway, I wish I could come up. Angel or I forget. The website though. I go to her website and it was for when she was running for judge. Like it hadn't changed it. And it was all about criminals and getting criminals out of jail and too many people incarcerated and, lower bail and bond and all of this. That was like her what she was running on. I was like, wow, really? Worried about the criminal more than the citizen, and then becomes a judge and low bail and bond and 10 strikes, you're still not out, and letting people out that go commit murder and violent crime. No, all that's stopping now. And now we got NOPD that's actually growing in numbers and more cops out on the street and civilians hired by the NOPD doing things that NOPD shouldn't be doing, like paperwork, stuff that anyone can handle. Don't have time for veteran seasoned cops to be wasting time pushing pencils and paperwork. And then you have Troop N now coming in. All things are going in the right direction. We're seeing a great reduction in crime that's noticeable. And the loony, hyper-woke left, the loony left is going to complain about it. Mind-blowing. Talk about wrong side of something. NHL in New Orleans. I don't know what the hell that was. Some guy is bringing a minor league hockey team to Monroe, I think. And then he said, to tell you how serious we are, you think we're just coming in here for fun? We're here in Monroe to stay. But to show you how serious we are, our goal is to bring an NHL team to New Orleans. And then he used an example that I don't think is, I don't think was very accurate. He basically was saying, hey, if you can do hockey in Las Vegas in the desert, you can do hockey on the bayou. I hear you. If all things were equal as far as economic growth, the overall economy, folks moving into the city, that type of thing, I'd be like, you're right on the money. Vegas is a booming city. I mean, Vegas used to be, I like a good place to visit, wouldn't want to live there. Now they're north of 2 million in Metro Vegas. They're diversifying their economy. It's not just the Strip. They've got major pro sports teams now. And yes, like New Orleans with the NBA is sort of like, hey, 10% of the tickets, wink, wink, will go to tourists and conventioneers. Doesn't have to be all locals. Vegas has a lot of that. They got the NFL. They've got the NHL. They're getting NBA. They're going to get Major League Baseball. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, they're getting Major League Baseball. They're going to get NBA. No, it's just not the best comparison. Vegas is booming. All these sports leagues want to be there. There's lots of disposable income. The casinos have unlimited money. Casinos, plural, dozens and dozens of them, including like a half dozen, 8 or 10 just monsters like Harrah's Caesars, like monster companies. A good half dozen of those, 8 or 10 that are just huge. So unlimited money almost. So not the best comparison. I wouldn't mind NHL in New Orleans. As I don't think it would take away from Saints, obviously. I really don't think it would take away from the Pelicans. I don't know if it would work or not, NHL, but This guy's sort of connecting it to a new arena. So the Saints/Pelicans, Gail Benson and company, they're about to do a deep dive into the Smoothie King Center, the New Orleans Arena. Do we dump a few $100 million in it and upgrade it and stay here for 20 more years? Or do we build another building somewhere else, like maybe in the River District? Something like that. And this NHL guy who's bringing the minor league team to Monroe, he mentions the new arena. Like, if the Saints and Gail Benson, they get this thing done quickly, and I don't know how you're financing like an $800 million arena. That's what it would be. It would be like nearly $1 billion. We built the New Orleans Arena on the cheap. I think like the first phase, like open arena, you can have events here. I think it was like $85 million. And then it was like 105, and then a little more. We might have like 180 million in that building, something like that. But it opened for like 85 million. To do something like that, I mean, you're not going to do it on the cheap because that's the whole point, to get something upgraded. But maybe where you do it and there can be a second phase, you add more suites, you add more behind the scenes stuff, clubs and the like. But you get the more premium lower bowl seats that you covet. I don't know, maybe you can build something on the cheap for like $500 million, 650 million. The LSU arena that they're going to build, this private equity firm's going to build at LSU, it's going to be $400+ million for college, for about 12,000, 13,000. So think about college to NBA, think from 12, 13,000 to 18,000. And then even more premium lower seats and suites. And yeah, LSU spending $350 million. It's going to be $600 million minimum. And it might be like $750, $800 million, close to $1 billion. Especially when it's 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the road from the ribbon being cut. But anyway, we'll talk tomorrow, Fridays with Fletch, yuck, yuck, ha, ha, and the like. I'm sure that'll be the approach. NHL in New Orleans. Honestly, I'd rather see Major League Soccer. I think that's more applicable. A huge Latino population here. I would name it, I'd make it a Latino team. I'd make it a Major League Soccer team, all Latino. Copy and do exactly what they do in Mexico, South Central America, Spain, and embrace our Latino market. And all the gringos like me are going to go to the games anyway. But boy, you got about 100,000 Hondurans in Metro New Orleans. Like literally, like 1 out of every dozen of us, 1 out of every 15 of us is a Honduran. And then a huge Venezuelan population. Got some folks from Colombia, post-Katrina, Brazil, a lot of Mexicans now. No, we have a large Latino population. I'd rather see Major League Soccer. And you could play at Yulman, at Tulane. It's a perfect Major League Soccer venue, 25, 30,000 seats, perfect. And then build something like at the River District. You know, that's the standalone stadium. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Father's Day a week from this Sunday, ladies. He'd like a massage at the Woodhouse. WoodhouseSpas.com. Hey, tomorrow, Michael Hecht will join us from Greater New Orleans Inc. We'll talk about Super Bowl. He was at that press conference with the mayor and the governor. He's the governor's point man. I'm on the committee. On the Super Bowl committee. I'm on a Jeff Landry committee indirectly. Holy smokes, Miss Peaches. Get out the fire hose and water me down. Tomorrow when Michael Hecht joins us from Greater New Orleans Inc., we'll talk Super Bowl. That segment, by the way, always brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant. A culture of innovation at Latrim, and they're hiring. They're looking for you. You live on the East Bank or West Bank? The Elmwood facility has dozens and dozens and dozens of jobs available. You live on the North Shore? They're hiring at their I-12 facility. For a full listing of positions available, go to Latrim.com. Latrim is spelled Latrim. LATRAM, Latram.com.
River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latram family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latram company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latram.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants, Leidenheimer French bread. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Yeah, you right. It's hot out there. If you ever need air conditioning help, NolaAC.com. I'll make it short and sweet. Some of you are going to have air conditioning problems. Probably not you or me. Somebody, though. It might be me, might be you. Might be tomorrow, might be next week, might be next month, might be next summer. But if you have AC problems this summer, making a funny noise, not blowing cold enough like you think it should be blowing, or worse, not working at all, you don't stress out. You immediately start solving the problem quickly. You call River Cities Total Maintenance. You call Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys. They're honest. They're air conditioning experts, I should say, and they'll come immediately right away. They'll get your AC working today. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. That's all you need. If you need AC help,
NOLAAC.com. If you need air conditioning help, NOLAAC.com. It's that simple. Corey Johnson with you on a hot Thursday afternoon. My brother was in Saving Private Ryan, that opening beach scene with Tom Hanks. He was the radio guy, about a 30, 40-second scene. Their backs up against the sand. The German Nazis are shooting down on him. Tom Hanks rolls over, grabs my brother, who's got the radio and, the little telephone handle. He's like, barking orders to my brother. And then my brother rolls out of the scene and it's back to Tom Hanks talking. And then he rolls back and pulls my brother again, barks some more orders, and then rolls back over and does it a third time. When he grabs my brother the third time, my brother's face is blown off. That was my brother in Saving Private Ryan, which I think for the Oscars, if I'm not mistaken, that scene was put up and they froze Hanks and my brother, nationwide. But for me it was cool, and I don't know if anyone else was like, hey, who's the guy next to Hanks? But anyway, for me it was cool. But you can check out the scene. I posted it on my Twitter at Corey Johnson on Twitter. He's in it's like about a 5-minute clip. He's in like the first 30 seconds of it or so. But no, I brought my brother on because Saving Private Ryan, I think, is universally recognized as like the closest damn thing to maybe getting a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% feeling of what those people were feeling on that beach. 5%'s too much, Miss Peaches. Maybe 1% of what they were feeling. And it is one of the most intense scenes in cinema history. It's film class stuff. I mean, if you're in a film class, and they're showing you like that step scene in the Battleship Potemkin, that Russian movie from like 1918. They're going to show you the first 20 minutes of Saving Private Ryan and storming the beach at Normandy. No, it was just so intense. It's so hard to watch. It's brutal. In the theater, I was almost like worn out. I remember thinking, there's no way this movie for 2 hours can have this intensity level because a human being couldn't handle it. No, you just get you get the slightest bit. If you you have to have a lot of empathy, and even with a lot of empathy, you get just the slightest bit of what those folks were dealing with. Just Steven Spielberg just doing a fantastic job. Veterans watch it and say how authentic and moving and real it was. So I got my brother on because he was in that scene. He was down there for a few weeks while they were shooting that scene. That first 20 minutes took about 15, 18 days to shoot. So I just wanted to get my brother on to talk about it because of, things like how real was it and what was Spielberg thinking? What was Tom Hanks thinking? Were there veterans there? How long did it take to shoot it? All of that. So my brother, John Johnson, the actor, joined me last hour to talk about that. 80 years ago today, D-Day. America and the Allies saving the world. NOLA Troop N making headway. That's great news. Great NOLA Times-Picayune article on Troop N doing what the NOPD can't do or doesn't really have the manpower to do. Pull over vehicles that maybe have too dark of a tint or no license plate, and then they're finding drugs and guns. And these are the folks they've busted. The hyper woke loony left complaining about it. It's like, how many folks did they let go? How many folks did they just write a ticket? I talk about the dark tint all the time. I've been talking about it for like over a year. You get pulled over once and the ticket's dark tint. They check your record. You get a big fine because it's against the law to have dark tint, like $250, $350, $400. You get pulled over again and they're like, dude, we pulled you over 6 months ago for dark tint. You didn't change it? No, officer, I'm about to. Well, you didn't. So here's another ticket and the fine's like $1,200. And by the way, if we bust you again, we legally can seize your car. Take your car. I'd pay the $1,200 ticket and get your tint changed. And then if they don't and they get popped the third time, you seize the vehicle. So pulling somebody over for tint being too dark, that's legit. No license plate, legit. They got drugs and guns. The hyper-woke liberals are going to complain about that. Stolen firearms or a rap sheet. They should be arrested. They should be in jail. They're wanted. Liberals are going to complain about that? Insane. Insane. Hey, they open at 11 a.m. every day. They close at 9:30 at night every day. They're open throughout the entire day. I'm talking about Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn. Some of the best Lebanese food in the metro area, Middle Eastern food, lamb chops, shish kebab, all your favorite Middle Eastern sides. So good. They're rolling till 9:30 tonight. Be there, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
River Cities Total Maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Yeah, you right. Thursday afternoon edition of the program. You know what that means? Tomorrow's Friday. That's how that works. It's pretty neat. It's like that age thing. You know, if you're like 35, you'll be 36 next year or next birthday. Now, I like Thursdays because Friday's the next day. And, you know, Fridays are pretty locked and loaded. We could have a special wild card guest. But around 4:20 tomorrow, expect Fridays with Fletcher Mackel. And around 4:35, Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc., also on that Superdome committee for the governor, heading it up. And around 5:20, going to the Riverbend and talking food with Frank Brightson. That's always good. Miss Peaches, you think I get special treatment from Frank? I called him the other day. Tuesday night, 6 people. Corey, we're booked. Our 2 big tables at Old Sick are booked. I'm sorry. Couldn't get in. Went to Clancy's. Seriously, couldn't get into Brightson's. Got in at Clancy's instead. It was my mom, my brother, my sister, my niece from out of town. It's like a special occasion kind of thing. So we wanted to go somewhere good. And Brightson's was booked. So, people think like, friend, yeah, we'll make room for you, Corey. Put 2 tables. No, they're not. And when I say people treat, like they'll treat you like they treat me, I get treated great, but nothing special. You get treated the same special treatment I will. And if they're booked up, you're not getting a table. Hey, Blue Boy, Clancy's was good, though, wasn't it? Yep, you had leftovers. Thanks, Miss Peaches. Thank you for watching and listening. Yeah, mañana, Fantasy Friday. I'll see you right here, straight up 4 o'clock. That deserves a yeah, you right, Friday.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.